Hello and welcome to Division 3, Season 3. We're here in Suzuka today, and it's going to be a good one. Well, I've talked the last two races about, I talked last time I was commentating in Division 2 about how boring Suzuka was. And both the Division 1 race and the Division 2 race were spectacular. So hopefully this race continues the trend. We saw an incredible finish to the Division 2 race. And another thing that we saw is a lot of mistakes, and you're not expecting it so much from these guys because they're the top tiers, you would think. But it turns out maybe it's just that Suzuka is such a tricky track. They're all fluffing their lines, all making mistakes. But we'll see today. We got the first car out on track. That's the Velociraptor 4. I'm joined by Instinct. Instinct, what have we got predicted for today?
Oof, tough question. I really don't know how the guys did in time trial. I didn't look at their times. Stocks has been really fast the last few races. Obviously, we have Massey with who's been doing really well. Necktrack picked up speed over the course of the season. Air Jordan dropped some speed or points. So at the moment we have like a 4-way battle for the title. That's still ongoing, so I'm assuming some of these guys will do great during the race.
Yeah, and you touched on quite a few of the championship contenders. Obviously, Stoggs is the guy leading the championship at the moment. He's 12 points clear of Track at the moment. Oh, and Velociraptor's off.
What happened there?
Well, I think, well, I was just saying just a couple of seconds ago how tricky this track can be. And we've seen it there from the Velociraptor. I think he's got front wing damage as well, so he'll have to go back to the pits and abort this lap. We're riding on board now with Stoggs, though. So Stoggs, I think the first person then who will cross the line to finish his flying lap. He is on one now, I believe. So we'll have to watch and see what he can do. Stoggs obviously leading the championship ahead of Track, so 12 points ahead of Track. He's 15 ahead of Massimo. Both those guys very, very competitive. Obviously, the two Renaults, as you mentioned, Air Jordan and Wrecker, in fourth or fifth in the championship, but they're not quite as quick as they were in the opening round. So a lot of their points have come from the opening rounds, those victories. And as Stoggs goes across the line at 126.3. We've got cars off the track, left, right, and centre. So Garley comes across the line, 2 seconds and a bit slower. Lord Volk, again, 2 seconds slower. So maybe it was an incredible lap time from Stoggs, or maybe everyone else is just kind of finding their feet. There comes Track, half a second behind his championship rival, and then Massimo slots in between. Quite fitting, really. So those three, top three in the championship, top three fighting it out for pole position at the moment. We've got a couple of Renaults coming round. Here comes Air Jordan. He is going to finish his flying lap as he comes, hugs the inside nice and tight, comes across the line, and he is sixth. And there's Adiman in fifth, and Sienna Bob Nelio in fourth.
Wrecker
Wow.
also just finishing up his lap.
That being said,
And
Sienna Bob
7.
is and Wrecker's seventh. Yeah, so behind his teammate, there's those two very close to each other, and Jinxie pops himself into fifth. And Ian in sixth. So the Red Bulls not brilliant at the start of the season, but they seem to be found their footing. It was a good lap from Sienna Bob. He's fourth. He is, however, still 8.8 off pole position. So I think it does show you how much Stoggs, Massimo, and Naktrack have really improved as the season's gone on. And all three, you would say, probably fit for Division 2, or maybe even in the back end of Division 1.
Yeah, they're kind of aliens in this division. You can also see from like some races where Massey finished with 40 seconds of a gap to second place. That's just crazy.
Yeah, a couple of the previous races, we've seen one car just dominating all the rest. But we're not sure what we're going to see.
Getting a bit of a toe from Air Jordan, maybe. Hopefully this time round he doesn't block one of the Mercedes guys.
Yes,
Yeah,
we saw that
he
in
needs to
Spa
stay.
with Cooney. That was unfortunate. And Hamlin and all kinds of traffic here. We've got the Red Bull pulling into the pits in front of him. Here he comes across the line. What's he going to do? It's ninth. So he doesn't. Oh, he's 6/10 off, 6,000ths off, I should say, off of Air Jordan, the guy that was actually giving him the tow. It would have been quite funny to see him go faster than him, given the circumstances. But track is still green. It's still evolving. And yeah, Nactrack half a second off of Stoggs. That's quite interesting. Massimo putting in more related performance to Stoggs. Are we going to see this championship lead extend, or are we going to see it come down? It is one of the closest title fights we've had in this whole series, the FRS. 15 points separates 3 drivers, and here we see Fuki 90 coming across the line now. He will just start his lap, not running the same times around here as the rest of them. So he's going to be doing a flying lap, whilst a couple of others are doing out laps. We'll see if that affects him at all. He comes through the first corner into the S's, and this is where I think the game can catch you out, or rather the track can catch you out quite a bit, because there's a couple of different lines you can take through here, and you don't lose too much time taking a bit of an alternate line, but it is very tricky. Those very fast left right, and if you've got a setup maybe more focused towards straight line speed, and we see it's just invalidated there. It says it's gone purple in the first sector though, so I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure
he's
about that.
invalidated the rest of his lap.
And here's a Volta to 4, so he's not set a fast lap yet. He would have come into the pits 1 lap ahead of everyone else, so he would have already done his out lap, so this is his fast lap. So we'll have to see what he can do with this and where he can place himself. He's come through the S's now. No such mistake this time round. A couple of tricky corners now. Very easy to invalidate here. Just run a little bit too wide. Can be done in the first part, can be done in the second part, and now we get to the hairpin. And the hairpin, again, another corner where you can take all kinds of wild lines through there, and he takes a bit of a wider one. I'm not sure if he's braked a bit late or that was intended. But again, if you get on the power nice and early and get it down nice and smooth, you don't actually lose too much time. And here we come through Spoon, another very tricky corner, very quick. Braking zones, and he's gone a little bit wide there, and then he just needs to run out wide. Some jerky input reactions there, so I don't know.
Is he on keyboard, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe I don't know if he's been racing on a wheel, but it does look a little bit like he is racing with a keyboard. We'll see as he comes down into the chicane, and then again just minimize the line. Thankfully, that Suzuka bump is no longer there as of this game. Across the line, and he has gone 11th, right next to his Haas teammate. So now we've got a couple of cars out on track looking to set a fast lap. One of them is Stoggs, so we'll be
Lord
keeping.
Volk has gone off on his hot lap in the
We've got
S's, and he was
Andrew
disqualified.
Orthodox. So Andrew Orthodox facing the wrong way. Lord Volk is out, but Stoggs is ahead of both of them on track. So he is absolutely flying. Now he comes through to 130R. No hint of a lift in these cars. So much downforce, and the top end speed isn't as high as maybe it would have been in previous generations. At least compared. Oh, he's dived straight into the pits. So clearly on his screen he wasn't improving, and he thought, why bother with doing a full lap if I can just dive back into the pits? Maybe do 4 qualifying laps. You never know. Or 4 attempts rather, because he didn't complete this one. Here comes Garley across the line. What can he do? He is starting a lap. That was anticlimactic.
Massi is finishing up his lap.
Oh, it's close, but it's not quite close enough. And here comes Air Jordan. Is he going to be able to improve? No. Or was he starting a lap?
No, I think he's done 1 lap already.
We've got Nactrack is off the track. He is off the track in the S's, so travelling through the grass at the moment. Not sure if he's got any front wing damage. Oh, we've got another car coming off. And you see how tricky it is. Just a couple of these corners. So I don't know if he's getting out of someone's way. He's got all kinds of dirt and dust and sand and everything you don't want on those tyres. So he's going to have to brush that off if he wants to set another lap. But I'm not sure he's got the fuel to do so.
Lamb Chop also has problems.
And
yeah, the S's are really hard. You really have to be careful with throttle input there. It's not to spin out the rears too much and then go off.
So Sienna Bob has come across the line. He has improved. He is still in fourth. As we see Wrecker now, can Wrecker improve? Can he pull himself up a little bit closer to his teammates? As he comes through the chicane now. Again, just putting that power down, coming, ooh, bit of a swerve there.
He's
Not as
fifth.
smooth as he would have liked, but he is fifth. 127.0. So he's still 7/10 off the likes of Stoggs and Massey. We've seen Sienna Bob invalidate there. I'm not sure if
I
he's on a
think
cooldown lap.
Cooney is really fast at the moment. 6/10 up.
And Cooney Skittles, yeah, one of those
Goes eighth.
one of those guys that's been really close in the first couple of races, but I think he's had a couple of bit of time off, maybe studying or just preoccupied and not being able to put in as much practice as he would have wanted. But he is back now and raring to go. So we had, yeah, 2 DNSs, 2 did not starts. And here
I
comes
think he
Hamlin.
crashed out on 2 races as well.
And Hamlin coming across the line. What can he do to improve? He goes up into 7th. So you can see immediately the track evolution, which actually makes that time from Stoggs all the more impressive because even these guys aren't able to get within 7/10 of him. And Massimo not able to usurp his pole position. So we'll see again. Stoggs is actually he's just in the pits. So and it is the same with Massimo. Neither of those two are electing to come out to set another lap right now. Maybe they're going to wait
Yeah, I
right
think
till
they're
the end.
waiting.
Wait for the track to be as evolved as it can possibly be, and then go and absolutely put in a stonker of a lap. Here comes Jinxie now. And he's got Wrecker just ahead of him on track. Is that going to help him? Is that going to hinder him? We'll have to see. They are both into the pits, so neither of those scenarios. Well, as we take a step back and we just kind of look at the times that people have set and where they're all at, a lot of people are into the pits. So Nactrack is out on his out lap. Not going to be wanting to make any mistakes through the S's this time. But still 2 and a bit tenths, 2.5 tenths off Stoggs, a little bit less off of Massimo. And I wonder what we'll see from Stoggs and Massimo. And of course, there's the race to come. We have no idea what the conditions will be in the race, but we're always got our fingers crossed for rain. That would always help improve any kind of title fight. We saw it in Division 2, Timalele in the rain, just having absolutely no pace, not able to qualify higher than, I don't think he was able to qualify in the top 10, to be honest. And it's had a knock-on effect in the race where, and here we see Fuki coming around a couple of corners, a lot of opposite lock there as he comes through the hairpin, through the chicane, crosses a line, either invalidated or he's just starting the lap.
Andrew is finishing up his first hot lap right now.
And
What
here he
can he do?
comes.
7th.
And he jumped up to 7th. So the Force Indians have always had a little bit of action with the guys in front. So let's not count them out just yet. We know Addyman is obviously down in 11th. Andrew Orthodox is in 7th, but he's still in position to challenge some of the guys here. Now here comes Nactrack. He's coming across the line to start his flying lap, and that will be his final flying lap. So can he improve at all on the guys ahead? Can he improve on his own lap? We'll have to see as he comes through the S's now. As we said so many times, so tricky through here, but he looks like he's kept it all together, not putting too many wheels on the curbs. Those curbs are very slippery, and especially at these kind of speeds, you put a wheel on the curb and it just will spin you around. He's gone purple in the first sector. He's 2/10 up on his own lap. So that would put him, if he doesn't improve in these next 2 sectors, that would put him right up there with these guys. But we'll have to see how much has the track evolved and how fast can he go. Unfortunately, the split for sector 2 is almost right at the end of the circuit, so we won't really know anything until he comes around there. He's got a couple of cars in front of him. He's got the is that a Williams of Garley, I think, is in front of him, and he's getting in the way, and that's not. Oh, that's a bit. That's going to go to the stewards, and I think I know which way I'm voting on that already. So here he comes now. He is 2/10 up still, though, and he has set the purple sector in sector 2 as well. Here comes through the chicane right at the end. takes a lot of the curb. Some of the drivers not taking as much curb, but he is using all of it as he can. Keeps the line nice and tight to the wall, and he goes second. And it's not a lot. He's 100th off Stoggs, 100th and a bit, and that was a really good lap. But here is Stoggs. He's on an out lap. Massimo is also on an out lap as well. We'll wait for those guys to cross the line. They've got a minute and a half to do so, and I think both of them are, well, Stoggs is coming around Spoon. Massimo is in the hairpin at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on them as we watch on board with Air Jordan, who is on a fast lap. He's been knocked down quite far, actually, so he was up there originally, but a lot of these guys have improved, and it is pretty close between them. I mean, once you sort of count out the top four, you've got everyone from fifth down to 14th, all within 8 tenths of each other. Fourth down to 14th is 1 second, so that's quite nice to see. And so Stoggs has started his flying lap. He's coming through the first corner now, as we're just watching on board with, not on board, but we're watching Air Jordan to see if he can improve. Here he comes, round the line, across the line for the last time. And does he improve? He jumps up into 8th. It's not quite where he expected maybe himself to be, especially in the first half of this championship, but it is where he is now. And here comes Stoggs then. So Stoggs has gone purple in the first sector. He's about 1/10, well, not quite 1/10, but that amount ahead of what he's done before. He doesn't necessarily need to improve, but we'll keep an eye on Massimo, who's gone 1/10 and a bit quicker. Oh no, just 1/10 quicker. So Massimo 1/10 up, Stoggs about 1/10 up. Massimo will need to dig a little bit deeper than that if he wants to usurp the pole position from Stoggs. A bit of a lock up for him in the hairpin, but here comes Stoggs. No one to hold him up through that corner there, and he can use all the track he wants to do. And now he just takes the shortest line down towards 130R. No lift through 130R. It's not as challenging a corner as it has been in the past. And Massimo again going through that corner. He is able to take all the line that he wants to take. The car goes out off in front of Stoggs. Doesn't perturb him. Here he comes across the line. Can he improve? No, he
doesn't.
can't. So it's all down to Massimo. He is faster, but by how much?
I think it was 2/10 in the sector split.
He just needs to nail the last corner, get the power down nice and early, and across the line. Will he take pole position? He does, and he takes it by over 1/10 of a second. And Massimo, in the fight back to take the lead of the championship, he has put himself on pole position. But as we say, anything can happen in the race. That run down to the first corner is always plenty of fun. It's a lovely sweeping corner. There are plenty of lines. Here comes Ayan. Can he improve on his time? As he comes across the line, he can. He's up into 7th. Both Force Indias in 5th and 6th. So they've done a really great job. But the Red Bulls as well. Sienna Bob, somewhere off screen, has actually improved. He's within 3/10 of a second of Massimo in front. So he's only, what's that, 2/10 behind Naktrack. That really is impressive from him. So
Yeah, the top three within 1.5 tenths. That's so close.
absolutely unbelievable, and it is fantastic for the championship, seeing the three guys that we know are fighting for the championship, and they're so close to each other on track as well. And maybe Sienna Bob will be a spanner in the works here, actually, given his pace in qualifying. Could we see him pop his nose into this fight, get in their way, hold them up maybe? And we'll have to see. Massimo on pole, though. No one could stop him in the end. So Massimo with a 126.2 to take pole position. Stoggs second, Naktrack third. So the top three in the championship, top three on track. Sienna Bobnelio, huge improvement over some of his previous finishes in qualifying. Fourth place, Andrew Orthodox and Adiman in the two Force India. They're not Force India anymore. I think Racing Point or something like that. Ian in 7th, Rekka in 8th, Jinxie 9th, Air Jordan in 10th. And then we've got the two Mercedes in 11th and 12th. 13th and 14th is the two Haas drivers. And then further down the grid, we've got One Goal, One Dream, Gali, we've got Fuki, and we've got Lord Volk rounding out the grid. So quite an interesting qualifying, action-packed. And yeah, I don't want to jinx anything, but Division 1 and Division 2, absolutely fantastic races, and it's raining. So, is that a visual glitch, or are we actually going to get some rain for the race? Certainly seeing some spits of rain on track, and no puddles that I'm noticing,
Looks
but
like intermediate conditions to me.
it does look cold. And if we can kind of look in the corner of the screen, I think the cars have got green tires on, so that would indicate the intermediate tire being used and the intermediate conditions, as you said, Instincts. Um, just waiting for the last. I cannot wait for this then. So, what are we going to see? We're going to see a wet track devolve into a dry track, or evolve rather into a dry track, or we're going to see it the other way around, where it devolves into absolute chaos as Massimo leads them away. You can see there is spray on the track, but there aren't puddles. So, and there doesn't look to be puddles forming. So maybe
Yeah,
not conditions for wet tires yet. Oh, a bit of a slide there for Massimo actually. As he's the really good drivers will be using this time to actually find grip on track. We saw it from Max Verstappen in whatever race it was, Brazil 2016, I want to say, where during the safety car period, he just sort of seemed to stick his nose absolutely everywhere on track to try and find where the traction was. And I'm sure Massimo Stoggs and Track will be doing that as well. They know today is a really good chance to take a really good haul of points. Wet conditions are notorious for DNFs, and Suzuka is not an easy track to master in the best of times, let alone in wet conditions. I don't envy these guys going through the S's for the first time in these conditions. And yeah, if we see, if Stoggs sees Massimo and Track crash out and he manages to take first place, he will have obviously a 30-something 37-point lead as they come into the last three races. Of course, the absolute opposite could happen. Massimo and Nakjak could finish first and second, and Stoggs could be out with the DNF, and that would put both of them in front of him in the championship, and would spice everything up quite a lot. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled, see how it all goes. Any predictions for this one then? So I don't know, Instinct. Have we seen wet conditions before, and who have we seen thrive in them?
I can't remember that we did in this division. I'm not sure though. I'm just guessing that Massimo and Stocks, the fastest guys in this division, also practiced in the wet, maybe. So I'm assuming they will drive away with it. But I'm not sure. As you said, rain's always up for creating chaos. So we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Division 3 in Canada last season when Timolele was leading by quite a bit over Hamlin. Then the rain came down. Then all of a sudden, Timolele ended up in no man's land, and Hamlin won the race by over 30 seconds over him. So, yeah, there's no guarantee that the fastest guys in the dry will be the fastest guys in the wet. But Massimo does lead in pole position. Stoggs in second, Track in third. We're just waiting for the last cars to peel into their grid positions, and then we'll see the lights come on. So we see the shuffle. Here come the lights. 5 lights are on, and they're off, and away we go. And Massimo looks like he's gotten quite a good start from this. He's kept ahead of Stoggs. Track an okay start. In fact, Track a better start than Stoggs, and he's going to go all the way around the outside at the start. But Stoggs holds that inside line. We've got cars coming off, and here comes the Red Bull of Aryan. And so Stoggs has kept the position ahead of Track. Sienna Bob has kept it ahead of the 2 racing points behind him. Aryan has jumped one of the racing. In fact, Andrew Orthodox is way down, way down in 18th now. So he was probably the car that we saw coming off, making a mistake. But the rest of them seem to be okay. We've got Lamb Chop. He was facing the wrong way. It doesn't look like he's got any front wing damage, so he's recovered just fine. So Massimo's gained a whole second and a half on Stoggs behind. At the moment, Track fairly close. Sienna Bob in fourth, fifth is Addyman, sixth is Ian, seventh is Jinxie.
Oh, and
We got someone coming
Velociraptor
around.
spun round Cooney.
And so Cooney Skiddles and Cooney Skittles facing the wrong way. As you say, the Velociraptor 4 may have been in there, made a little bit of contact. We've got a
One
McLaren
goal's
off.
gone
That's one
off.
goal. And he goes
No
through the
wing
polystyrene
damage though.
boards. It just looks like he's got absolutely no grip. And to be honest, I don't envy his position being on a keyboard around Suzuka in the wet. Uh, doesn't sound like it'll be fun to me. And Massimo's pulls quite a lead over Stoggs. He's 1.5 seconds ahead of him. Track is quite close now to the back of Stoggs, and in fact, he's got better traction as they come out of the corner. He's going to try it all over again. Can he go all the way around the outside of turn one and take the position? He's dived back now into the slipstream of the car in front. He takes a bit of a wider line. Can he cut back in and get a better exit? Not quite, not enough to do anything with it. The timing screen is all out of whack. That's on your screen and on my screen. And here comes
He
Track up the
goes for the
inside. He's going
dive.
to do it through the S's. Oh, he's not quite. And that's a bit of a heart and mouth situation, I imagine, for both of them. They probably both saw their lives flashing before their eyes there as you just don't want to go through a corner like that side by side. But we can see how much more pace Track has over Stoggs. So Stoggs, the championship leader, he's looked basically infallible until this point, and right now in the rain, he just doesn't have the same kind of grip. He doesn't have the same drive that the guys behind do. So obviously there is a discrepancy. Some of these guys are using
Yellow flags in the back. Fuki's gone round.
yeah, Fuki facing the wrong way, and we've got drama in the hairpin, I believe, as well. I'm not watching that. I'm watching Track and Stoggs go at it. Stoggs has gone very wide there, and Track has got a great opportunity. He's gone up the inside. They're going side by side as they head towards 130 yards, and Track has done it before the corner. So can Stoggs do anything to fight back in the chicane? And Massimo's already pulled a 2.5 second gap on these guys. And Stoggs just looks to be a sitting duck, as even Sienna Bob Nelio now closing up to him. In fact, he's gained a bit of a gap over Addyman. So Sienna Bob really turning it up for this race. And here he comes now. So the next guy to try and put a dent in Stoggs' championship lead. So as it stands right now, I think Massimo probably would take the championship lead over Stoggs. Whew.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Even though he has this 3-second gap, he can still make a big mistake and lose it all.
And what a start from this race then. Massimo 3.5 seconds ahead already. It just seems like almost every sector he seems to just pull a second out of absolutely nowhere. And he seems to be running away with it. And before long, he'll be a whole pit stop ahead of these guys, which will give him give him a great choice, because he can sort of stay out on wet tires, see how fast the guys behind are on soft tires, and then elect to pit even 2 or 3 laps later and still maintain his lead. So he doesn't have to make any gambles. He doesn't have to make any silly decisions. He can run it as nice and clean as he wants to do. 3.7 seconds. The gap. Stoggs seems to be keeping up with Track. He's only half a second behind Sienna Bob, half a second behind him. But the gap behind that, Addyman, 3 seconds off Sienna Bob. And we've seen yellow flags appearing in the some McLaren that's, I think, off in the gravel. Yeah, there we see. It's 1 goal, 1 dream. Having an absolute awful time of it on the keyboard in the rain. And sad to see. We've got someone spun round on the exit of Spoon. It's one of the Mercedes, and that's Hamlin making a huge mistake there. I wonder if he's just gotten on the power at the wrong time. Here's Stoggs now as they come around the final corner. Is he close enough to Track ahead? He isn't. They're very close through the chicane, but maybe too close.
Yeah, it's already hard to overtake in the dry conditions on this track with only 1 DRS straight. It's really hard to do that in the wets without the help from the DRS system.
Yeah, and we saw what it can do in Division 2. Being too close to someone through that chicane can really upset the exit of the corner. So it disrupts, obviously, how early you can get on the power. And it actually means that once you get through up into turn 1, you're miles behind and you're nowhere near able to complete a passing move. At the moment,
There's
we're seeing the balance of grip sort of maybe shift back towards Stoggs. So I don't know if Track is now finding it a bit more difficult, because Stoggs is all over the back of him. And you can see through
there's
the
a really
hairpin.
close battle for 5th at the moment,
Ooh.
with 3 cars involved. Air Jordan, Jinxie, and Addyman all within like 1/10 of each other.
Oh, and here comes Air Jordan around the outside of Jinxie, and he has taken 6th place from him, and that puts Jinxie in a position to maybe be for Iron to capitalize on that. Air Jordan's all over the back of Addyman now. So Addyman, he's now 3.5 seconds behind Sienna Bob. He's really holding them up. Stock's not quite close enough to elect a move here, and Air Jordan now really just wants to get past Addyman as quickly as he can and get a shift on and try and maybe catch some of these guys in these conditions and see if maybe he can just pull a bit of a gap, use Addyman as a blocker for the cars behind, and pull a bit of a gap and have again a bit more opportunity. Addyman's all kinds of out of whack, and Air Jordan having to ease off the power as he almost catches him too quickly. He's now going for an offensive move. Jinxie isn't quite close enough to do anything about it, and here he comes. He's going to go all the way around the outside. He certainly is trying it. He's kept it around the outside. He's not made a mistake. He gets onto the curb, and he's got the inside
Oh,
line for the next
what a
corner,
move.
and he just kind of
Really well done.
bullies his way back into and then he goes off a little bit, and he now is the Force India, the Racing Point behind him, going to capitalize on that? And no is the answer. In fact, Addyman looks like he's about to get taken by Jinxie as well. So Jinxie all over the back of him, really looking every which way to try and find his way past, but there just isn't in this track enough places where you're catching the cars and then you're able to make an overtake. If Oh, and he's so close through the hairpin, but the hairpin really isn't that easy to make a move on. And here
Lord
we can
Wolf
see,
retired.
so Lord Volk is out. Here we can see Stoggs is really close now through Spoon to Knack Track.
VSC right now. So no overtakes at the moment.
So I wonder if did Lord Volk crash out then?
Yeah, I
It
think
was
he
through.
crashed after 130R.
So through 130R, and you can see from Massimo's perspective, it looks like he, you might be able to see now, it looks like he just went a bit wide, lost the car, and then just went straight into the wall. So how are they going to play the restart for the virtual safety car? It all depends on what kind of corner they come out of when and how much overspeed they have. You can see how close Stoggs is to Knack Track.
I'm
The virtual
assuming
safety car is still in effect, but I
that
mean, they're racing. So, they're racing each other. Um,
I think
and
it's
now
back
it's
to
green
green
flags.
flags. I think Stocks played the VSC a bit better, but then
Yeah, I mean,
had to brake in the first corner, so he lost a bit of time there.
it wasn't really ideal. The virtual safety car ended as they'd gone through the first corner, which meant there isn't really anywhere to overtake. Sienna Bob has dropped back because of that. Uh, Massimo still he's 6.7 seconds now in the lead of this race. And with how much Stoggs and Knack Track are fighting each other, and even with Sienna Bob sort of lurking behind, although he is now a second off the back of Stoggs, um, it is making this incredibly exciting to watch. In terms of the conditions, I'm not really sure what we're seeing. It looks like it's getting maybe worse, if anything. I don't see a drying line. What about you, Instinct? Any
Yeah,
information to?
looks the same to me, although the sky is a bit clearer at some parts of the track. I will have a look at chat and then let you know.
And here we go. So we've got another yellow flag, and this is a full safety car. So who is that that's just gone off? It looks probably the Velociraptor through the first through the S's, and Massimo does not pit then. So had a chance to put on new intermediate tyres. Did not take that opportunity. Knack Track will take that opportunity. So Knack Track obviously seeing that that Massimo hasn't pit, thinks he'll pit himself. Uh, who knows? You might be able to gain a gap. Stoggs and Sienna Bob both haven't pit. Neither has Air Jordan. Addyman is into the pits. Ian choosing not to. Jinxie is in as well. We've got a couple of cars in, a couple of cars not. So where will Knack Track come out? He is coming out of the pit lane now. He's in 7th at the moment. He's got Addyman coming up to him. Stoggs has got a drive-through penalty. So Stoggs exceeding the the maximum speeds require the maximum speed allowed. He's just slowed massively on track at the moment. So and one goal has been disqualified. So one goal disqualified for and Wrecker's got a drive through for speeding under the safety cars. So we've got two cars, but Stoggs and Wrecker, both cars that were up there in the championship, um, have received a drive through, and we've got one car that's been disqualified. That's one goal, one dream.
Yeah, I don't know
And
what happened there.
no, such a shame for him. We did see him in the wall in under the bridge, but I don't know if that's just where the AI parked his car after he was disqualified. So such a shame for him. Instinct. I don't know if you can keep an eye on the Div 3 chat. I've got too many things open on my phone and my computer to really take a peek at that.
So
Maybe he'll.
I think one goal was disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. If I look at
Really
the race
strange.
director there. And as from what Chad told me, it's light rain throughout the whole race.
Right. So we've seen Nattrack come into the pits now. He's put on new intermediate tyres. We have absolutely no idea how long the intermediate tyres will last. Will they last the entire race? I don't think you have to make a pit stop if it's a wet track. I just think if oh, we've got Sienna Bob. And they've all made contact under safety car. So Sienna Bob's crashed into Stoggs ahead. He's lost a piece of his end plate. We've seen Air Jordan behind him also making contact. So they're both now into the pits. We've got I am behind them also into the pits and Wrecker. So I think the train, there was Sienna Bob and a Red Bull, a Renault, a Red Bull, and a Renault, all sort of line astern. They were caught out, and that allowed
Both of the teams are double stacking.
both the teams. Yeah, of course they have to, and that's not good for either of them. And oh, the Renault was just so slow at resetting there, and so Wrecker will end up right at the back. Oh, it's so unfortunate for Sienna Bob. He was doing absolutely brilliantly in qualifying and in the race, keeping it very close to the cars ahead in in both the dry and the wet conditions. We'll have to see. Keep an eye on him now and see what he can do from 10th place. And it'll be the same story for Air Jordan in 12th, Ian in 13th, and Wrecker in 14th. Four very, very quick guys.
Dogs
And
almost went off there. Under safety car, he took
Nattrack's
apart some of the bollards.
Now, Nattrack's got a penalty, and his penalty is only 5 seconds. So, Massimo, if he's got the pace, I don't think he needed any help, but they've helped him nonetheless. So, Stoggs and Nattrack, both with a penalty. Stoggs' penalty a lot more severe. He's got a drive through. Nattrack with a 5-second penalty. The only other person who has a penalty is Wrecker. He's got a drive through, which he obviously could not serve under safety car conditions. We'll have to see for him. Does he pit as early as he can, serve the drive-through, and then hope maybe for another safety car to pull him back? We have no idea, but we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Now, Gali has appeared himself in 4th place. So, just to note, Nattrack has got new intermediate tyres. The cars in front have got older intermediate tyres. In fact, if I bring up on my screen, oh, you can see it on your screen. Yeah, Nattrack on those newer intermediate tyres. Can he go to the end? Can Massimo go to the end? We
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think they have to stop at least once. This track is really hard on the tires.
And Stoggs is in to the pits. He can't serve his drive-through. I don't know if he was trying to serve his drive-through or he wanted specifically to take new intermediate tyres. Oh, is he serving something? What happened there? Because he was stationary for a very long time. It certainly wasn't a drive-through, which is the
Maybe
penalty
he
that he
had
did have.
another penalty. I will check.
And then he comes out still with his drive-through, I would
Yeah, he
imagine.
got 2 penalties at some point. So he had... What did he have?
Yeah, so he has still got his drive-through.
5... No, that's... 5
Oh,
seconds
he
time
must have had a
penalty.
5-second for speeding under the safety car then, and then or well, no, because he's got a drive-through for that. I have no idea.
Yeah, he got a drive-through for speeding under the safety car and 5 seconds for collision with Sienna Bob.
Ah, yes, of course, yes. Yeah, that really is unfortunate. Unfortunately, the Sienna Bob will get a. I don't know if he got a time penalty from the game, but he will get a 5-second penalty in the stewards' room for causing a collision under the safety car. Just essentially not giving enough of a gap. It's not as easy under these kind of conditions because stopping distances are far longer. But the rules are the rules, and him being the head steward, he really should have uh, paid a bit more attention to that. So that's a shame for him. It's going to hurt his race, but we'll have to see what he can do now. Restarting, I suppose, in ninth place. He is faster than the guys ahead of him. Is he able to convert that into overtakes? We'll have to wait and see.
Safety car in this lap.
Right, and we just look on board the leaders of the race. So Garly in third, he's well up there. Cooney Skittles in fourth. Andrew Orthodox and Addy Man in 2 racing points. Well, yeah, Andrew Orthodox has recovered quite a lot, so he's now into fifth place. Everyone behind him has pit at least once. So Andrew Orthodox, the last person not to pit. But the difference is only 7 laps on these intermediate tyres, and Koenig Skittle makes a really big mistake as they restart the race, and Andrew
Yeah,
Orthodox has got a chance now to get past him as they come down towards the first corner. Andrew Orthodox got a little bit more straight line speed than the Mercedes to his left, and he's going to take the inside line, and he's going to force his way through, and he's actually going to push Cooney off a little bit, and it's going to put him at the clutches of Jinxie behind. Andrew, though, makes a mistake, and here comes Cooney Skittles right back at him. And Andy Man behind Jinxie looking to get past these guys, and Jinxie all over the back of them. As we look a bit more towards the front, Massimo, what a restart he's had. So he's pulled 2.5
yeah,
seconds on
he
that
he
track.
caught him napping. Yeah, already
Gali,
this far up.
Gali's a whole second behind Knack Track, and then we've got Cooney Skittles obviously involved in a bit of a fight, and he's made a mistake and he's into the wall and he's crashed. He is still able to race, but we have seen a piece of carbon fiber come off, so I imagine that's an end plate, and that's going to hurt him, especially in these kind of conditions. And here comes, yeah, he's being overtaken by just about everyone now. Gali in third, Andrew Orthodox with a bit of a gap now in fourth, but Jinxie is coming right at him and he's going to try and dive up the inside as they come through Spoon. Andrew Orthodox going to run wide, but he is going to keep the position, and that's going to allow Jinxie to get maybe a little bit of a better run at him. The other racing point not quite close enough to Jinxie to do anything about it, but here comes Jinxie now, and Andrew Orthodox must be using quite a lot of his ERS because he's pulled a hell of a gap on him.
There's some
And they all
information
come through
on.
the chicane. There's a couple of cars dive bombing their way through. That's Hamlin and Lamb-Chop fighting each other. And they're side by side as Sienna Bob watches them
Oh,
both go into the wall. And the
Hamlin's
Mercedes has
out.
spun round. And he's out. And oh, I don't like any of
What
that, what I
happened
just
there?
saw. I think I want to give Lamb-Chop the benefit of the doubt and say that he kind of just lost traction and pushed Hamlin into the wall. I want to say that it was an accident and he didn't mean to do that. But if he did squeeze him, that really was quite a horrible move. But I think I can't imagine he would have deliberately forced him in there. I think he probably just made a mistake. It is only the virtual safety car, so I think that's just because they've been bunched up by the actual safety car. So actually, by the time they all come back round, Hamlin's car will have been pulled away and pulled back into the pits. So, nothing really to gain from this. Cooney Skittles to take everything from bad to worse is sped under the pits, under the VSC, and then we are back to green flag racing now. Massimo again keeping that 3.5 second gap. Jinxie is now past Andrew Orthodox, who I think has made a mistake, or maybe just been caught napping because Jinxie's pulled a second on him already.
Yeah, as it stands, that's a lot of points for Ferrari. Maybe they can put the constructors championship in this division in their hold as well.
Yeah, and Jinxie on the hunt now for Gali ahead of him. He's got 1.7 seconds to overcome, but the cars behind are falling back. And here comes Sienna Bob on Addy Man. So Man really has been a bit of a roadblock here so far. What can Sienna Bob do? We've seen Man has not found it so easy to put the power down, and it's affecting him now. Here comes Sienna Bob. He's going to go up the inside. Is he going to force his way through? We'll have to wait and see. Here he comes, and he backs out of it, allows Man to go, but Man has run wide. Sienna Bob's going to use a tighter line. Andrew Orthodox going almost off the track in front of him, and Man has kept the position. So as they come through the center S's, Sienna Bob's got a much better line, a much tighter line. He's able to carry more speed through the corners. Man looks really to be all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah,
And
flags in sector 3. And Kunis crashed it while trying to get into the pits.
oh, and that's so
And
unfortunate.
yeah, he retired
Uh,
after that one. That's understandable. Really couldn't catch a break this race.
Yeah, such a shame for him. And yeah, Sienna Bob really all over the back of Man now. Andrew Orthodox has caught himself back up to Jinxie, and Jinxie's caught himself up to Gali. So Gali is Gali a bit out of position here now. He's on slightly older intermediate tires than the guys around him. He's losing pace to the car in front, so that's Knack Track. He's 2.5 seconds behind Knack Track. He's got Jinxie closing up fast to him. He's got Andrew Orthodox closing up fast to Jinxie as well. So both of them are going to be putting pressure on him. Man, again, the roadblock in Sienna Bob's fight for what could potentially be a podium position. We've got, is that Stoggs has
Stocks
gone
has gone
around?
off.
And has he got damage? He's off the
Looked
track.
fine
He
to
hasn't
me.
got damage. He has served his drive-through as well, but he's way back now. He really, really needs a safety car. Here comes Sienna Bob. Another lap, another chance. He's got the slipstream. He's got the better cornering. He just looks like he's got so much more grip than Man. But really, and Addy also looks to go round. Nearly collects his teammate. Sienna Bob manages to avoid him as well, and he's spun it back round, and he's facing the right way. Granted, he's on the grass, but loads of cars are going past him now. And Iron's picked up a 3-second time penalty. He's got 8 in total. It looks like everyone except for Naktrack and Iron have managed to get rid of their time penalties. Of course, we'll see a couple for the Red Bulls and the 2 Renaults in terms of 5-second penalties that are added onto their time. So we'll count that into it. But here comes Sienna Bob. He's coming up into the hairpin. He's going around the outside, or he will have to go around the outside if he wants to try and make a move
Maybe a
on the
switchback.
racing points. Very good from Man there. Kind of parks it on the inside. Doesn't allow Sienna Bob to pull it up the inside, and Andrew also has gone round again. So bad to worse for him as well. And we can see what happens. One spin round and everything seems to go straight down the toilet. Here comes Sienna Bob taking a much tighter line through Spoon. He's able to get on the power maybe a little bit earlier, carry a bit more speed through that corner. And now as they come through 130 yard, we've got yellow flags waving for the other Force India, the other racing point. But and October FRF has left the race. I don't really know what that means because I don't think he was in the race, but
Maybe he joined the wrong lobby or something.
could have done. And Sienna Bob, yeah, he's just not able to carry the speed where it matters the
Andrew
most.
might have a puncture on the rear right. I'm not completely sure, but it looks a bit off to me.
And Man survives for another lap. Oh, we'll have to keep an eye out on all of that. Andrew Orthodox then
I don't know
way
if that's
down.
just on my screen, but he's going really slow. And his front wing is intact, so I'm not sure what's going on with him there.
So we've got a lot of cars making mistakes, a lot of drivers feeling the pressure. Sienna Bob's picked up a 3-second penalty to go with his 5-second. So that's 8 seconds total. So I'm not sure if he's able to. He's 9.5, well, almost 10 seconds now ahead of Fuki. So he might be able to keep 5th place. If he can get past Man quickly, he can pull a gap. Anyone who makes a mistake in front of him, he'll be able to capitalize on that and do something with that. But as of right now, he's in 5th. He's stuck behind Man. He's actually dropped back a little bit, and I wonder if that will help him. I wonder if he's done that deliberately to try and create a gap so that when he catches him through the hairpin, through the chicane, he is able to carry a bit more speed through and have a better run into turn one. From the looks of it on the onboard, it looks like he's maybe just a little bit too far back. But as we've seen now, he takes a lot of the curbing, and Adiman doesn't take almost any of it. Sienna Bob, a little bit of a slide as he tries to put the power on, and he is
Massey
actually
into
quite
the
far back.
pits. And he will go to the end from here on.
Yep, so it doesn't look like it's going to get any wetter, but it also doesn't look like it's going to get any drier anytime soon. So Massimo deciding now is the time, halfway through the race, to put on intermediate tyres and go to the end. Nat Track ahead has already pitted, but we don't know how long these intermediate tyres will last for. So will he be a sitting duck to Massimo later on in the race? Massimo does not have to overtake him because Nat Track has got, I believe, a 5-second penalty. Jinxie is closing up to Nat Track. Man is not able to close up to Jinxie, and he's got Sienna Bob all kinds of over him. Actually, that's Ian we're watching on Fuki 90, but Sienna Bob is still all over the back. Oh, apologies for that. Ian is all over the back of Fuki, and he's gotten himself
Stocks
past
gone
him.
round again. That's his race over.
Right, and he's getting back onto. And he
And
spun it, trying
another
to get back onto
spin.
track. And that is a problem you have when your rear tires are both overheating and on a wet track. You just have zero grip, and you can see it now. Oh, it's such a shame for him.
Just
Championship
ice skating through the S's right now.
championship leader in consecutive races. So in Division Two, we saw Timalele, I think, scoring 1 point by finishing in 10th. Now we're seeing championship leader Stoggs in Division Three. He is currently in 11th, out of the points, and he probably will have to pit again unless he can cool down these tires. It is a wet track, um, but those intermediates, it is actually quite difficult to cool them down. Just the nature of how they are and how they retain heat. It might be tricky for him. And here we see another lap. Sienna Bob can't get past Daddy Man. And it's starting probably to become a bit frustrating for Sienna Bob as Addy Man maybe is now able to kind of find the limits of the track. They will both have Massimo closing up to
Yeah,
them.
it's been one lap, and Massey made up 3 seconds to Sienna Bob.
Oh, wow. And that is the pace difference on new versus old intermediate tyres. And the guys ahead have all pitted, so whether or not they will have to pit again, as we see Massimo going purple in the first sector, and if he can sling together a really fast lap, he might be able to set the fastest lap of the race here and maybe pull himself another point ahead
He
of
he has
Stocks in the
that
championship.
at the moment anyways, but I think he will go even quicker now.
And so, Naktrack is leading the race. He is 2 seconds over Jinxie. 1.6 behind is Addyman, who is being chased very closely now by Sienna Bob. So Sienna Bob dropped back quite a bit, but he's now a lot closer up. He will have Massimo closing up to the back of him. We imagine that Massimo's going to find it not too difficult to get past these guys. Will Sienna Bob's best chance be letting past, letting Massimo back, letting Massimo pass him quite easily, and then using Massimo then to overtake Addyman? We'll have to wait and see. But Addyman certainly is starting to close up now a little bit to the back of Jinxie ahead. Jinxie maybe closing up to Naktrack ahead of him.
And we see Massey setting the fastest lap by quite a big gap.
And just as Massimo's closing up to Sienna Bob, Sienna Bob's closing up to Addyman, Addyman's closing up to Jinxie. Maybe it'll be a little bit difficult for him to find his way past. He is very close now to Sienna Bob. He's got a lot more traction. You can just see from the onboard how much more grip Massimo has than the guys in front. Obviously, we've seen his pace overall, but he is now on fresher intermediate tyres. Is he going to make a move on Sienna Bob in maybe a bit of an unorthodox place?
Yeah, I think he just needs to pick the right spot. He has all of it to lose at the moment.
And the
Where
fact
he
Sienna Bob almost looking for a move up the inside of the hairpin. And Massimo just kind of thinking, you know what? If you're going to go for it, and get out of my way. Sienna Bob just still not able to make the move on Addyman. He's racing very cleanly, and very fairly. We've seen a couple of these guys just sort of launch one up the inside and push uh, their rival out a bit. But Sienna Bob definitely waiting for the opportunistic time to make the move. Jinxie is slow ahead, and that is allowing Adiman to close up. And now they're line astern, all four of them. And we're going to come into the hairpin after
Are they
130R.
going
We're going to see
side
what
by side to 130R? They are. Ediman's gone wide and he lost the
Sienna
position
Bob's
to
gone
Sienna
through, and
Bob.
Sienna Bob's going to go up the inside. He's going to try and make a move on Jinxie. He's just not able to. And in all of that, Massimo actually wasn't able to get past anyone. So Jinxie keeps second place. Sienna, and into the pits goes to force the racing point.
Neck track as
So,
well in front. He's also into the pits.
so Nattrack obviously realizing he can't go to the end on these tires. He's done 10 laps on them already. And he's doing his 5-second not drive through, but 5-second penalty. Massimo has now gotten, no, he hasn't. Massimo hasn't gotten past Sienna Bob. So Sienna Bob now fighting for the lead, or what is effectively the lead. Well, what isn't effectively the lead? What is the lead of the race, but will be sort of fourth or fifth, as Massimo looking to get past. I wonder if we'll see one of these guys try and stay out. And Massimo's going to go up the inside in the corner where he really shouldn't. He's going to push Sienna Bob out wide, and he has taken the position. Now he's got his teammate ahead of him. Will we see a bit of team orders here as Jinxie maybe letting him past? And as they come into the hairpin, it doesn't. Oh, maybe it does look like it. Well, Jinxie's definitely fighting back at him. Is he going to just let off the power? He is letting off the power. So Massimo going round the outside, and the Ferraris switching position very effectively. Although Massimo take a bit of a wider line there. It's not hurt him too much, but it might have hurt Jinxie letting past his teammate as Sienna Bob very close to him now. And Sienna Bob looking to do the same as what we were seeing earlier, trying to go all the way round 130R. Is Jinxie going to give him the room? He is going to give him the room, and an absolutely brilliant pass there from Sienna Bob as he goes all the way around the outside of 130R and takes second place away from Jinxie. So Jinxie into the pits now. He's going to try and do the undercut on Sienna Bob, and I would imagine he would. That is quite effective at the moment. We've seen the pace of the guys who have pitted, and unless Sienna Bob is thinking he can go all the way to the end on these tyres, he will have to pit again himself. So we start to look towards the driver of the day. Instinct, what are your thoughts?
Let me just look at position changes real quick.
I think even though
Gali
Sienna Bob...
with 12 positions gained at the moment. I think he had a really horrible qualifying. Usually he does really well in qualifying and gets absolutely wrecked in the races. But now maybe starting further down the grid is his best choice for the future as well, because he can't get tangled up in incidents. So as of now, he's kept it quite clean, gained 12 positions. Obviously, I'm a bit biased as a Williams driver myself.
He is currently 17 seconds off the lead of the race. He will need to pit again. Well, he
No, he
no, he
won't.
hasn't. He's on 4-lap
Might
old.
actually be able to get P2 in the race if Sienna Bob and Ian still decide to pit again.
Yeah, and both of them are carrying time penalties. So actually, Gali just kind of needs to close up to them. Sienna Bob has got, I think, a 3-second penalty and a 5-second penalty. The 5-second penalty is to be awarded after the race. Ian will have a 5-second penalty awarded after the race as well. Gali is within 5 seconds of Ian in front. Well, almost. And so, yeah, I think Gali is currently P2. We'll have to see. You've got a couple of cars behind him. We've got Adiman, Jinxie, Naktrack, all looking to close up. And in all of that, Jinxie is in sixth, Naktrack in seventh, Adiman in fifth. Then, so Adiman has got a penalty. So presumably the two cars behind will be able to jump him after the penalties are applied. But it's looking quite good. It's certainly looking good for Massimo in first.
Yeah, obviously we have to consider Massey as well. Just another race where he completely dominates the opposition. It's already again a 6-second gap almost, even after safety car and all those VSCs.
Interestingly, we've not really seen too many yellow flags come out and too many mistakes being made. We've got both Mercedes cars out. Oh, in fact, Jinxie's made a huge mistake there. He's gone into the hairpin. He's gone too hard. I think what he did is he put a couple of wheels on the grass in the braking zone. That's absolutely the opposite of what you want to do. And then he's just sort of flown through the hairpin, not even nearly collected Addy Man in front of him. In fact, he's lost track position now to Knack Track, and I think he might have picked up a time penalty
Yeah, 10
because he
seconds.
10 seconds because he cut across the chicane. That obviously wasn't his fault. He didn't intend to do anything. In fact, we've got Andrew Orthodox in sector one. He's now facing the wrong way again, but doesn't look like any damage. And that's made that's really hurt Jinxie. I wonder if he'll try and get that one removed because he really didn't intend to do any harm there. He wasn't cutting the track to try and gain a position. He just made a mistake, and his car
Ryan
just kind
into
of
the
aquaplanes.
pits. Gali gains a position there. Neck track also up one position.
So Sienna Bob's done 12 laps on these intermediate tyres. It's 6 laps, 6 and a bit laps to the end. His pace isn't falling off massively. He's got 14 seconds behind him. He's got 3 seconds of penalty plus 5 seconds. He's got 8 seconds of penalty. And Gali is 14 and a half seconds behind. So I'm wondering, can Sienna Bob? He does not like it when I jinx him, and I don't intend to jinx him when I say that Sienna Bob has a really good chance of going second in this race, even after penalties are applied and even after the stewards' penalties are applied. He just
Yeah,
needs to
we'll
keep it
see if he
nice.
can keep the gap up or not.
It's 14,
Maybe a few
40.2 at the
laps to
moment.
go.
Sorry about that. It's 14.2 at the moment, so we'll have to just keep an eye on that and see if that goes up or goes down. Sorry, Instinct, what you were saying.
Yeah, his tire is 12 laps old. I'm not sure how long they will last, or if he will lose a lot of speed in the last laps to come.
Yeah, it's
It's
still 6 laps left, and that is a long time around this track in these conditions. We've seen how many mistakes, how many drivers have made. In fact, Massimo really is the only person that hasn't made any mistakes. Stoggs is still out of the points, and that is huge. He's 10 seconds behind Fuki, who's in 10th place. So if he wants just 1 point, he's got to overcome 10 seconds. If he wants 2 points, he's got to overcome 18 seconds. Madness. And Jinxie's picks up a 3-second penalty as well.
maybe
That's
Stock's best choice right now is to go into the pits for fastest lap, possibly to steal that 1 point away from Massimo.
yeah, I think if he knows
I
that
think,
Massimo's got the points, but maybe he doesn't know.
yeah, that's true, but I think he has the pace to do that.
Oh, and Jinxie's all over the place. If we watch it on board, it looks like he's just about to lose it in almost every corner.
He
Certainly
has
not having
fresh
a great
tires though.
time. And Gali is slowly starting to close up to Sienna Bob. It's not a lot. It's about a second, maybe a lap. What did I say? 14.2 last time, and they were about at this point around the track. So maybe a second a lap. And Massimo going even faster. Good lord. Really asserting his dominance on this league, on this race. And Sienna Bob's into the pits. Can't do any more. Has to pit. He looks up. And and that's a shame. So Sienna Bob into the pits, has to pit and get new tyres on, but he will be possibly the fastest guy of the group behind him.
Yeah, let's
There
see where
goes
he
Gali then,
comes out.
and Addy Man goes past. Here comes Nat Track going past. The Red Bull still isn't out of the pits. There's the Red Bull out of the pits as Jinxie comes.
Yeah, Jordan's gone round. Maybe that's a position for stocks to be gained.
Yeah, and he's now got Fuki right behind him,
Yeah,
and
Air Jordan
he's into
into
the
the
pits.
pits. So I'm assuming that's at least 1 point for stocks right there.
So, as we look to the results of the race, Massimo is currently in the lead by 27 seconds over the next guy behind, which is Gali in second. Adiman is in third. He's not closing up to Gali. Naktrack is 2 seconds off Adiman now. Now, Naktrack hasn't got any penalties. I don't recall seeing anything that would give him any stewarding penalties. Um, Jinxie is a couple of seconds off. So Naktrack, I would think, will still get third out of this. So he'll still be on the podium. He won't let Massimo take the lead of the championship by too many points. Naktrack is currently 3 points ahead of Massimo. Massimo would get 25 plus the fastest lap, so 26. And then I think 15 points for. And here comes Sienna Bob going up the inside of Jinxie. Oh, he's done a move around the outside of Jinxie through 130R. He's done a move up the inside of Jinxie through 130R this time round. Absolutely brilliant, fearless from him in some of these corners. And here he comes now. He's going to try and hunt down the positions that he's lost. And he's got pace over these guys, but he has got a whopping 8 seconds worth of penalty. Can he catch up to Adiman? Can he pass Adiman? There's not too much time left for him to do it. If he wants to be up there, he's really got to get a shift on. So Stogg's into 10th now, so he will get a point. He wouldn't have gotten a point if he decided to pit and go for fastest lap. So it's a good thing he didn't. However, he just doesn't seem to have the pace. He just doesn't look confident, I think it is, around this track. Maybe it's the conditions. He was slipping right from the start, slipping down the order, and he just doesn't look like he has the same kind of drive that he's had in some of these other races where he's more or less dominated from start to finish. So we come to the last couple of laps now. Quite a big gap opening up between each car. There's a second and a half between all of them. It looks like Sienna Bob has gotten past Jinxie, and I think he is the guy now to be hunting down Naktrack. Naktrack will be hunting down Addyman in front. So it'll be these three cars: Addyman in third, Naktrack in fourth, Sienna Bob in fifth. But Sienna Bob with the lion's share of the penalties here. In fact, we can have a look at the penalties. Addyman's got 3 seconds. Sienna Bob's got 3 seconds plus that 5, so 8 total. Jinxie's whopping 13 seconds. But of course, he may be able to get that 10 seconds removed for essentially just gliding over the hairpin. Totally not his fault, and a bit of a shame for him. And someone down there, Ghali's made a mistake. So Addyman's now half a second behind Ghali. Naktrack is now half a second behind Addyman. And all of a sudden, we're looking at a fight not for third, but for second place here. So Ghali and Naktrack both have no penalties. But Ghali is ahead on track. Addyman is quite close to him. Ghali going very wide there in the hairpin. And Addyman able to get onto the power a lot earlier than him. Now, if Addyman could get past, and maybe Ghali makes another mistake, and Addyman could quite easily pull 3 seconds just from 1 or 2 mistakes if he's got the tyre advantage. As they come through Spoon now, Addyman brave enough to put a couple of wheels onto the curb, not running any wider than the track limits, though. And here they come now through 130R. Ghali ahead of Addyman, but Addyman's got so much more pace through that corner. He's going to try and dive up the inside, is he? No, he isn't. Naktrack looking to go almost all the way around the outside, and Sienna Bob is into this fight now. So Ghali now the roadblock in this for second place.
He's not using, now he is using his ERS. Or still at like 50-60%, and not using it on these straights up to 130R.
Sienna Bob allowed to close back up, so it's now the second, third, fourth, and fifth cars are all within, it looks like a second of each other in total. And they're coming through the S's now. This is a point of the track where, or the part of the track where they all just kind of bunch up, and you can see how much opposite lock Naktrack is having to put on as he's trying to just find absolutely all the grip here. but there is nowhere really to overtake. And actually, Ghali's managed to extend a little bit of a lead over Adiman. As Sienna Bob's starting to close up now to Naktrack, who's being held up now through that corner by Adiman. And into the hairpin they come. Is anyone going to have a look? A dive. Naktrack is poking his nose up the inside. Nearly makes contact with Adiman. Adiman gives him space. In fact, I think Adiman just kind of leaves him space. Air Jordan has retired, so I don't know if he's just fed up of racing. He's retired into the pits. So it looks like it was his choice to retire. And they come back round another time. Sienna Bob very close to Naktrack in front of him. Naktrack not able to hang on to Adiman, and Adiman not able to hang on to Ghali. So Ghali looks like he will be keeping second place. And Massimo has started the final lap. And Ghali's gone wide there. Adiman's picked up another 3-second time penalty. Rekka's left the session. Adiman's going up the inside. He's going to take the position from Ghali. However, he has now got 6 seconds worth of time penalties. Is he going to make the move up the inside, or is it not worth his time? We've seen, well, he's going to go up the inside, and Ghali makes contact with him. Ghali into the back of him. I don't think he's got any damage, though. But he will be a bit of a sitting duck now to Naktrack behind. Naktrack now only needs to gain one more position in order to be second, effectively, once the race is done. And here they come through the S's, and there's not really anywhere for him to do it. He will probably have to wait for either the hairpin or for the final chicane. And Naktrack is now being hounded by Sienna Bob behind. Sienna Bob just kind of sitting back, watching all of this unfold. And if Adiman hadn't picked up that other 3-second time penalty, maybe he'd be in a better position. Ghali's gone wide, and Naktrack has gone through, and he's going to take the position as they run down. Now both using their ERS to just try and out-drag each other as they come through to Spoon. Naktrack will have the inside line. He should have the position, but Ghali's technically ahead of him. Are they going to make contact? Ghali runs a little bit wide. Naktrack is going to poke his way up the inside. And Naktrack looks like he's taking the position at the moment, but they're all very close. Ghali has a chance to overtake. But the problem is now that Sienna Bob is very close to him as well. So is Sienna Bob going to try and make a move on Ghali? As Ghali comes through, 130R now. He's not able to carry the speed, and Sienna Bob is going to have him. Naktrack has second. Adiman ahead will cross the line second. Massimo has crossed the line a while ago to win the race. Sorry about that. But Naktrack comes across the line. He will finish in second place. Ghali in third. Adiman will finish in fourth. Sienna Bob in fifth after all the time penalties are applied. Jinxie in sixth. Ian maybe Ian will drop down, sorry, behind Jinxie. So Jinxie sixth, Ian seventh, Stogs even with the penalties in front of him, he's not going to be able to do anything better than eighth. Really apologise to Massimo, who won the race by 42.5 seconds. We didn't actually see him cross the line. But he has won the race, and that is 26 points, I believe, that he has now taken from Stoggs. So we'll have to see how it all kind of finishes in the championship. Ghali gets driver of the day. He's gained a lot of positions, but that was fantastic from Naktrack as well towards the end of the race.
I think the issue, from what I can see in chat, is that Ghali's controller disconnected, and that's why he lost such a lot of time. So there was no mistake from his driving, but rather his peripherals giving up on him.
Yeah, Naktrack. I think I've got to probably give it to Naktrack. Second overall, and he I can't exactly remember how many penalties he had and at what point, but he did use his tools to the best of his advantage, and then he fought back for the position over Ghali. Ghali got a bit lucky, I think, with the timing of the safety cars, and is that his first podium of the season?
So, but I'm not sure.
Where is he? No, he's got second place before. He got second place in Mexico, but it is his second best result, a third place. Sienna Bob doing really good, and in fact will end up fifth, which I think is that his best. Yes, that is his best finish of the season. Unfortunately, he will pick up 5 seconds of penalty extra, and so will the other Red Bull and the two Renaults. But I think both Renaults did leave at the end. So another race, and another race where almost everything happened in the last lap. Whew. Well, that's been fantastic to watch. I think I've been lucky enough to commentate on the two best races this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the 5 has something to say about that.
I've been Mark, been joined here by Instinct, and it's been another fantastic race. Division that just keeps on giving, and we enter now the last 3 races. Massimo, Naktrack, and Stogs, still all in contention for the championship. Can't take your eyes off of it, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
See you guys then.